Hello, friends. Cristiano Ronaldo scores in a record 6th World Cup, but is the narrative around his comeback overblown? England are held to another goalless draw, this time by Ghana, and Declan Rice is now one yellow card away from a knockout stage ban. 5 nations are already eliminated with a group game still to play, raising real questions about the 48-team format. Bruno Fernandes is set to stay at Manchester United despite fresh Saudi interest, and Man United and Spurs are battling for West Ham's Matheus Fernandes. If you're enjoying this kind of breakdown, drop a like. It genuinely helps us keep this format going. So let's dive into the latest football news. Cristiano Ronaldo scored a brace against Uzbekistan, becoming the first footballer ever to score in 6 World Cups. CR7 now has 10 World Cup goals and 2 assists in 24 matches. Lionel Messi, now 39, and Cristiano Ronaldo, 41, continue to deliver on the world's biggest stage, with Messi holding 18 World Cup goals and 8 assists across 28 matches, a record of participation that stands apart. England drew 0-0 with Ghana in front of more than 63,000 fans in Boston. Jude Bellingham described the performance as second-game fever and said the 3 Lions need to roll with it. Thomas Tuchel faces a real concern. Declan Rice is one yellow card away from a suspension that would rule him out if England progress to the knockout stages. Senegal confirmed goalkeeper Edouard Mendy will miss Friday's match against Iraq due to a knee injury sustained in the 3-2 defeat to Norway. Both Senegal and Iraq are already eliminated. Jonathan David says his World Cup performances for Canada come down to a different playing style, but the Juventus striker insists he is eager to stay at the club. Despite fresh interest from Saudi Arabian clubs, Bruno Fernandes is expected to remain at Manchester United. Tottenham are considering a bid for West Ham midfielder Matheus Fernandes, but could face competition from Manchester United in what is shaping up to be a direct Premier League rivalry for his signature. With 5 signings already secured, Real Madrid are now turning their attention to outgoings. Dani Ceballos, Fran Garcia, and Raul Asensio are among those expected to leave, while Enzo Fernández's situation remains unresolved. If Enzo does end up joining the club, Tchuameni will likely leave the team. Atletico Madrid are reportedly making a move for Udinese defender Umar Solet at around $27 million, potentially cutting out Inter Milan, who had also been tracking the 26-year-old. Tottenham have officially confirmed the signing of goalkeeper Martin Dubravka on a free transfer from Burnley. The Slovak arrives as backup and said he is really happy to be at the club. Zinedine Zidane is reportedly considering bringing in legendary former France goalkeeper Fabien Barthez as his next goalkeeping coach. Milan have sent scouts to watch Flamengo midfielder Everton Araujo, according to reports from Brazil. No formal offer has been made yet. Former England goalkeeper Peter Shilton says he has finally made peace with Diego Maradona's infamous Hand of God goal from the 1986 World Cup. Ghana's Antoine Semenyo reportedly breached a FIFA rule during the World Cup match against England, but went unpunished, a decision that has drawn comment from a former referee. A Ghanaian spiritualist claimed to have cast a spell on Harry Kane ahead of England's goalless draw with Ghana, taking credit for Kane's missed opportunities in the match. Cristiano Ronaldo delivered one of the most statistically significant moments of the 2026 World Cup when he scored a brace against Uzbekistan, becoming the first footballer in history to score in 6 World Cups. It is a record that will stand for a very long time, but context matters. Mundo Deportivo points out that Ronaldo now has 10 World Cup goals and 2 assists in 24 matches. Lionel Messi, by comparison, has 18 goals and 8 assists, participating in 28 World Cup goals in total. The gap in impact is significant, and Messi, now 39, continues to deliver at the same tournament. Mirror Football's take is blunt. The narrative around Ronaldo being back is, in their words, farcical. Uzbekistan, the opponents for his brace, were described as shambolic. Scoring against a side of that level, the argument goes, changes little about where Ronaldo stands in the broader conversation. What is undeniable is the longevity. Ronaldo is 41 years old and still scoring on the biggest stage in world football. Whether the record reflects greatness or the benefit of extraordinary longevity against uneven opposition is a debate that will run for the rest of this tournament. and beyond. England's 2026 World Cup campaign hit another frustrating moment as Thomas Tuchel's side were held to a 0-0 draw by Ghana in Boston in front of more than 63,000 fans. Jude Bellingham called it second game fever and said the team needs to roll with it. But the mood around the squad is far from comfortable. The more pressing concern for Tuchel is Declan Rice. England's vice-captain is now one yellow card away from a suspension that would rule him out of a knockout stage match if England advance. Losing Rice in the last 16 would be a significant blow to a side that relies heavily on him as the engine of their midfield. There is also the matter of England's next opponents, who have already been eliminated from the tournament following the new FIFA rule change in this expanded 48-team format. That should, in theory, give England a clearer path to the knockout rounds, but the performances so far have not inspired confidence. England fans, for their part, were praised for their behavior throughout the Boston fixture. The focus now shifts to securing qualification with a result in the final group game, and to managing Rice's disciplinary situation carefully. Haiti, Turkey, Tunisia, Jordan, and Panama have all been eliminated from the 2026 World Cup with one group stage match still remaining. 5 nations already confirmed as going home before the final round of fixtures has even been played. Marca frames this as a structural problem with the expanded format. The 2026 World Cup introduced a new tie-breaking rule that prioritizes head-to-head goal difference as the primary criterion for separating teams level on points. This has accelerated outcomes in several groups, leading to early qualifications and early eliminations. The expanded 48-team tournament was sold as a way to bring more nations into the conversation and give smaller footballing countries a genuine stage. But when 5 sides are already mathematically out before the final group games, the dead rubber problem is real. Matches with nothing at stake are not good for the competition, the broadcasters, or the fans who have traveled to watch. The format debate will intensify as the tournament progresses. FIFA will point to the overall number of nations involved as a success. Critics will point to Haiti and Jordan playing meaningless final group games as evidence that the expansion has gone too far, too fast. The 2026 World Cup has introduced a significant regulatory change that is already reshaping the group stage. Head-to-head goal difference is now the #1 criterion for separating teams that finish level on points, ahead of overall goal difference and other traditional metrics. L'Equipe reports that this single rule change has had multiple consequences across the tournament. It has led to early qualifications in some groups and early eliminations in others, fundamentally altering how teams approach their matches. Coaches are now making tactical decisions with head-to-head margins in mind from the very first game. The practical effect is that a team can no longer rely on a strong overall goal difference to compensate for a poor result in a direct head-to-head. If you lose to a group rival by 1 goal, that deficit follows you through every subsequent calculation. It rewards teams that win their direct duels and punishes those who rely on beating weaker opponents by large margins. The Spain and Cape Verde situation is a live example. Both teams drew 0-0 with each other, leaving them potentially tied on multiple criteria, and fair play rules could ultimately decide who finishes top of the group. It is a scenario that illustrates both the complexity and the unpredictability the new rule introduces. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting football news. Stay tuned for our next video. Until then, take care and see you soon.